ranking from the Case and Carnegie judges that placed them in the top tier of all nominees nationally and at the top of the list in their respective states. I'm impressed, I'm delighted that 38 of our 46 state winners are able to be with us today, including some who have traveled a great distance at their own expense to be at this event. As I read the names of the 2008 State Professors of the Year, I would like to ask each winner to stand and remain standing. So, unfortunately for the winner from Alabama, you're going to have a long I'd like you to remain standing, and I'd like to ask the audience, please, if you would, hold your applause until I've named all of the state winners who are with us. From Alabama, and about to stand for a long time, Jeffrey Gray, Associate Professor of Computer Science, University of Alabama at Birmingham. From Arkansas, Tim H. Lindblom, Associate Professor of Biology, Lyon College. From California, Ray Toll, Professor of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, Loyola Marymount University. From Colorado, Martin C. Carlisle, Professor of Computer Science, United States Air Force Academy. From Connecticut, Kathleen LeBlanc, Associate Professor of Human Services, Naugatuck Valley Community College. From the District of Columbia, James Sandifer, Professor and Chair, Mathematics Department, Georgetown University. From Guam, Yukiko Inoue, Professor of Educational Psychology and Research, University of Guam. From Idaho, Carrie Hunter, Professor of Political Economy, the College of Idaho. From Illinois, Basil Baudouin, Professor, Television Department and Coordinator of Culture, Race, and Media, Columbia College, Chicago. From Kansas, Jacqueline Dillon Cross, Director, String Studies and Professor of Music Education, String Pedagogy, Wichita State University. From Louisiana, Maud Walsh, Associate Professor of Plant, Environmental, and Soil Sciences, Louisiana State University and A&M College. From Maine, Ivan Fernandez, Professor of Soil Science, University of Maine. From Maryland, Scott Jeffrey, Associate Professor of Geography and Director of Geospatial Applications Program, Community College of Baltimore County. From Massachusetts, Janine D. Plummer, Associate Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. From Minnesota, Martin Grindelund, Professor of Mass Communications, Minnesota State University, Moorhead. From Mississippi, Kimberly Burke, Professor of Accounting, Millsaps College. From Missouri, Mary Spratt, Cox Endowed Professor of Biology, William Woods University. From Montana, Garen Smith, Professor of Chemistry, University of Montana. From Nebraska, David Rosenbaum, Professor of Economics, University of Nebraska-Lincoln. From Nevada, Scott E. Casper, Professor of History, University of Nevada-Reno. From New Hampshire, Marissa Abacassis, Associate Professor of Social Science and Education, Colby-Sawyer College. From New York, George W. Curry, Kennedy Distinguished Faculty Chair in Landscape Architecture and SUNY Distinguished Teaching Professor, SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry, and holder of the longest business card. From North Carolina, Catherine Bruce, Professor of Psychology and Director, Honors Scholars Program, University of North Carolina, Wilmington. From North Dakota, Tammy Carmichael, Director and Associate Professor of Humanities and Integrated Studies, University of North Dakota. From Ohio, G. Andrew Mickley, Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience, Baldwin Wallace College. From Oklahoma, Robert Terrell, Professor of Accounting, University of Central Oklahoma. From Pennsylvania, M. Elaine Tagliarini, Professor of Nursing and Independence Foundation Chair in Community Health, Nursing Education, Community College of Philadelphia. From Rhode Island, Robert Hackey, Professor of Health Policy and Management, Providence College. From South Carolina, Alex Darden, Professor of Biology, The Citadel. From South Dakota, John Keller, Chair, and Douglas Firstenow, Professor of Materials and Metallurgical Engineering, South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. From Tennessee, John S. Gonis, Assistant Professor of Finance, Belmont University. From Texas, Manacher Khosrowshahi, Professor of Political Science, Tyler Junior College. From Utah, Nicholas D. Moore, Associate Professor of Philosophy, Westminster College. From Vermont, John Elder, Professor of English and Environmental Studies, Middlebury College. From Virginia, Kelly Lambert, Brock Professor of Psychology, Randolph-Macon College. From Washington, James Evans, Professor of Physics and Science, Technology and Society, University of Puget Sound. From West Virginia, Lucy T. Refslin, Professor of Mathematics, New River Community and Technical College. And luckily for her, from Wyoming, Teresa Bogard, Professor of Music, University of Wyoming. Please join me in acknowledging. That was wonderful.
And Sarah missed everything because she had to go to the bathroom.
Of the state winners, who are certainly every bit as deserving of our recognition as our national winners. But we do want to get on now to the acknowledgement of the